time to look at some werewolf movies. Woo! And today we're going to start with Werewolf of London. Wilfred London is a wealthy and world-renowned English botanist who journeys to Tibet in search of the elusive Marifasa plant. While there, he is attacked and bitten by a creature later revealed to be a werewolf, although he succeeds in acquiring a specimen of the Marifasa. Once back home in London, he is approached by fellow botanist Dr. Yogami, who claims to have met him in Tibet while also seeking the Marifasa. Yogami warns London that the bite of a werewolf would cause him to become werewolf as well, meaning that the Marifasa is a temporary antidote for the disease. London does not believe the mysterious Yogami. That is, not until he begins to experience the first pangs of lycanthropy, first when his hand grows fur beneath the rays of his moon lamp, which he is using in an effort to entice the Marifasa to bloom, and later that night during the first full moon. The first time, London is able to sip blossom from the Marifasa to stop his transformation. His wife Lisa is away at her Aunt Eddie's party with her friend, former childhood sweetheart Paul Ames, allowing the swiftly transforming London to make his way unhindered to his at-home laboratory, in hopes of acquiring the Marifasa's flowers to quell his lycanthropy a second time. Unfortunately, Dr. Yogami, who is also a werewolf, sneaks into the lab ahead of his rival and steals the only two blossoms. As the third has not bloomed, London is out of luck. Driven by an instinctive desire to hunt and kill, he dons his hat and coat and ventures out into the dark city, killing an innocent girl. Burdened by remorse, London begins by neglecting Lisa, more so than usual, and makes his numerous futile attempts to lock himself up far away from home, including renting a room at an inn. However, when he transforms into the werewolf, he escapes and kills again. After a third time, the third blossom of the Marifasa finally blooms, and much to Glendon's horror, it is stolen by Yogami, sneaking into the lab while Glendon's back is turned. Catching Yogami in the act, Glendon finally realizes that Yogami was the werewolf that attacked him in Tibet. After turning into a werewolf yet again slaying Yogami, Glendon goes to the house in search of Lisa, for the werewolf instinctively seeks to destroy that which it loves the most. After attacking Paul on the front lawn of Glendon Manor but not killing him, Glendon breaks into the house and corners Lisa on the staircase, and is about to move in for the kill when Paul's uncle, Colonel Sir Thomas Forsyth of Scotland Yard, arriving with several police officers in tow, shoots Glendon once. As he lies dying at the bottom of the stairs, Glendon, still in werewolf form, speaks, first to thank Colonel Forsyth for the merciful bullet, and say goodbye to Lisa, apologizing that he could not have made her happier. Glendon then dies, reverting to his human form in death. Yeesh, that was pretty dark, huh? Anyway, let's look at some production elements of this movie. Jack Pierce's original werewolf design for Henry Hall was identical to the one used later for Lon Chaney Jr. in The Wolfman, but it was rejected in favor of a minimalist approach that was less obscuring to facial expressions. Although it has often been reported that this was because Hall wasn't willing to spend hours having makeup applied, or because he didn't want his face obscured because of vanity, the real reason, according to Hall's great-nephew Cortland Hall, was heard from Hall himself, is that Hall, who was an accomplished makeup artist in his own right, argued that, according to the script, the werewolf had to be instantly recognizable to the other characters as Dr. Glendon. This would not have been possible under the more extreme makeup. Pierce resisted the change, so Hall went over Pierce's head to the studio head, Carl Lumley, who approved, much to Pierce's annoyance. The werewolf's howl was an audio blend of Hall and a recording of an actual timber wolf, an approach which was never duplicated in any subsequent werewolf film. Also, at the beginning of the film, the supposed Tibetans spoken by villagers in the movie is actually Cantonese. Henry Hall is otherwise just muttering gibberish in his responses to them. The film inspired at least 4 pop culture entries. Warren Zevon's 1978 hit song Werewolves of London, the 1981 film An American Werewolf in London, the 1997 sequel An American Werewolf in Paris, and the 1987 video game Werewolves of London. The story has been novelized twice. The first time was in 1977, a paperback novel written under the pseudonym Carl Drigstone, now confirmed as Walter Harris, as part of a short-lived series of books based on the classic Universal horror films. The novel is told from the point of view of Wilfred Glendon, his first name is inexplicably spelled Wilfred, and thus follows an almost entirely different story structure than the film. In particular, it has a different ending. Rather than turning into a werewolf, killing Yogami, and then being shot by Sir Thomas, Glendon decides to cooperate with Yogami, and they both attempt to control their transformations through hypnotism. However, the plan fails, the hypnotist is killed, and Glendon and Yogami both transform and fight to the death. Glendon wins, killing Yogami, and returns to human form afterwards. The novel ends with Glendon alive, contemplating using the hypnotist's gun to commit suicide, rather than to go on living as a werewolf. The second time was in 1985, as part of Crestwood House's hardcover movie monster series, again based on the old Universal films. This time, the author was Carl Green, and was considerably shorter, followed the plot of the film more closely, and was illustrated extensively with still photos from the movie. Oh, that's a pretty interesting first entry into the werewolf films of Universal. So, overall, I give Werewolf of London 3 jack-o'-lanterns out of 5. Well, join me tomorrow as we meet the Wolf Man. So, until then, see you guys.